A lot of people don't know this, but Claude Code and other AI tools have gotten really good at using your browser for you. And this means that you can now basically automate anything. So in this video, I'm going to show you how Claude Code can actually control your browser, what different methods and tools there are to do that. And then I will also demo 3 different use cases. So before we jump into the tutorial, let me just show you real quick how this actually looks like. So I have a skill here called the YouTube comment pinner. And I'll just run this from my Claude Code interface, as you can see. And what this will do is it will start spinning up a tab inside of my browser. So I can go and switch into my browser here. And very soon, yeah, there you saw it. So it just spun up. I didn't touch anything. It spun up this tab here. If I click into it, it will start navigating to YouTube in a sec. Okay, so it has navigated to YouTube now. Now in my skill, I've defined that it should first check whether it is logged into the right profile. And in this case, it's actually logged into a different profile. So it will have to click on the profile image and then log into the other account first. Okay, so you can see now it opened up the account kind of pop up there, or the drop down. And now it should be able to find the switch account button and click that. Okay, it found the button. Now it just needs to find the right profile that I wanted to click into, which is the Moritz AI Builder account. Okay, perfect. So now it's switched into the, okay, so it switched into the right profile. Now it actually went onto the right page, and now it's clicking into the Shorts tab, and it will now open up the latest video, which is also defined in the skill, and then it will make a comment on this video. I'm going to stop this now just because this comment has actually already been made. So let me stop this, but this should have given you an overview of how a browser automation like this can work. And if you're new here, my name is Moritz. I have 10+ years experience in tech. I currently run 3 different businesses, a media business, a software business, and an AI agency. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into the tutorial where I will show you exactly how to set this up and what tools to use. Now, before we do that, maybe just a quick explanation why it even makes sense to use browser automations. So basically, you want to use a browser automation kind of like a fallback if none of these tools are available. So there are different ways to connect other software to your Claude Code. One of my favorite ways is through a CLI. It's called a command line interface tool. And you can imagine this as basically just a little program that you install locally on your computer that Claude Code is able to very efficiently use. So what actually happens is if you've told your Claude Code that it has access to all of these CLI tools, it will then pick the right one and kind of create like a little terminal instance in the background and start using this tool on your behalf. And so this is quickly becoming one of the dominant ways how these AI agents are interacting with other software. So this is one way. MCP obviously is another way. The benefit about MCP is that it's really easy to connect. I'll show you later on as well when we're connecting the Playwright MCP that it's not hard to connect these. And then there's also just APIs directly. So you can have your Claude Code basically interact with an API by just giving it an API key. But if none of these, if you want to interact with a software, if you want your Claude Code to interact with the software, but this software does not have a CLI, MCP, or API, then often the only fallback there is to just use a browser directly because, that's what humans use, the browser. And, we can like basically just have Claude Code control the browser on our behalf. The downside obviously is that it's slower than giving it access to one of these 3 methods. So these 3 methods are like optimized for agents to be able to use them very quickly and efficiently. But a browser, it's not as fast as using these. But it's a very good fallback alternative. All right, so there are a lot of tools out there now with which you can do browser automations. And it can get a bit overwhelming which ones to use for what. So I've done a bit of an overview here. So first of all, if you look on the left side here, we're not going to be talking specifically about these in this video, but I've included it in this graphic because they're often, when you talk about browser automations, people will often ask, okay, what about these things? And these things are, so if you want to just have your Claude Code search the web and read public sites. So for example, you're asking it to go get some information about, let's say, get the weather, then it will usually just, if you just ask it like that, it will just use the native Claude web tool. There's a like web search tool built into Claude, and it will just use that. There are also some other tools which essentially are a replacement for this, and they're like they can do it in a better way, or that's at least how these tools promote themselves. So Tavily, for example, is one of them that can do these like searching the web, reading public sites and so on in a supposedly better way than the native web tool. And then Perplexity is also one of them. They also have an API where you can kind of do like deeper research through the Perplexity tool, for example. So this is for this use case. Then there's also often people talk about this use case of scraping sites, which is, I guess, similar to this, but it's more about like going somewhere and getting a bunch of data and then downloading all of that data. And for this specific use case, there are also some sites that are specialized to do this, or some tools rather. So Apify is one of the most famous ones there. Firecrawl is one. And then one that I use, not specifically for scraping, but more for like getting transcripts from Instagram or TikTok, for example, is TalkScript. Okay, so just to kind of sure we're talking about the right things here, I wanted to cover these so that we can now go into the actual like tools that we can use for browser automation. And here again, there are several different ones. And depending on your use case, I found that there are, different tools that are better for different use cases. So let's start with the first one. If you just want your Claude Code to interact with your current browser, the one you have, so this is my main browser. It's the one that I use every day. I have all of my that are logged into the various tools. So all of the logged in states are saved. If you want your Claude Code to directly access that, which obviously can be beneficial because you don't need to do like any extra authentication, then just using the Claude in Chrome tool is the best way to do that. And I'll show you a demo of that right after. Then the second one is if you kind of want your Claude Code to use the browser in the background without you really being able to see it, without it taking over your screen, then a really good way to do that is through the Playwright CLI. And there the benefit is that you can kind of have logged in states. So you can, spin up the browser, log in once, and then it will stay logged in. So if I, for example, want to log into my Skool and have it do some posts there, then I can log in once, and then every time it uses the Playwright CLI, it will continue to be logged into my Skool account. Okay, so that's the second use case here. And then there's another use case, which is if you want to do more kind of multi-step exploration, where each step depends on what you found in the last, then it's actually quite useful to use the Playwright MCP instead. And the difference between these two is basically that with the MCP, it is more token heavy, so it's less efficient to use it compared to the CLI, but it does give you more contextual information. So you can imagine it like it's able to see really the entire screen and like visually see the screen and can reason across that. And based on that, it can take the actions for the next screen and so on. Whereas with the CLI, it sees a bit more limited information and should already know, know which actions it should be taking. So that's kind of the difference between these two. For example, if you want to do a funnel teardown of like a competitor's funnel, then it might be better to use the Playwright MCP, or like a landing page roast or something on some site might be better to use that. Okay, so with that said, let's go into the three examples of each of these three tools. I'll give you three examples now and do three demos. Okay, so for the first example, let's use the Claude in Chrome tool, and I'll show you exactly how to build this and how to get this set up. So once you're here in the Claude desktop app, first just go to Customize, click on Connectors, and make sure that here this Claude in Chrome is enabled, and that's it basically. It should actually be enabled by default if you install it, but just go in here and make sure that it is. And once that's enabled, it's essentially a built-in tool that you can use. And now all you have to do is just create a skill to use that tool specifically. So let's create the YouTube pinner automation that I showed you in the beginning. And we'll say, I want to create a demo skill, which is like my YouTube pinner skill. It should, and then I'll just define the steps here. So 1, open up YouTube using the Claude in Chrome tool, and then make sure by clicking on the profile icon in the top right that we are logged into the Moritz AI Builder account. If not, then switch into that account first. And then 3, we want to click on view, I think it was view channel, and then navigate to the Shorts tab, open the latest video, and then it should click to comment on the video, comment, deploy AI agents in your business, and then do like join agent OS, so a CTA to my offer, and then in that comment, close the tab. Okay, so I just like wrote down these 9 steps, and obviously if you don't know these steps, you can go and like click it yourself once to know exactly what it should do. But it's very important that you describe the steps clearly, and you should then, like after you've done that once, which we have now, we will create the skill and then test it. Okay, it's done now. It's created the skill. Let's go and check it out, and you can see where the skill actually lives. So if I go into my folder here, which is the local folder that I ran this, or basically run all of my Claude Code sessions from, it's my Claude OS setup. If you don't know what that is, go check out my previous video about how to set up Claude OS for yourself. But yeah, once you're in your folder, in your Claude OS folder, mine is called Claudia, you can press Shift dot to open up the folders. And then here you can just go into the .claude. If you go into skills, you will see all of the skills that are inside of this local folder. And then you will see that it has created this YouTube comment pinner. So this is my original one. This is the one I just created for the demo here. And then there's the skill file in here that it just created, which has a description of more or less the same 9 steps that I described just now, just in more detail. And it, filled out these details probably just based on the knowledge that it has around how it should navigate these websites. But we definitely want to test it. So let's test it now. And then we can see if it gets stuck. Very likely this one will work because I've tested it before on my original one. So it kind of just mapped that. But if you create one completely from scratch, then it's likely that, it might fail once or twice, and then you have to correct it and just tell it to modify the skill. Okay, so the skill is running right now. It's just basically doing the same steps here. It's opening up it's clicking on my profile, opening up the page. It will now in a sec probably click on this view channel button to navigate to my channel. There we go. Okay, I think I can stop this here now since we did this demo once already. So now we have this skill, and I will be able to run this skill from here. I actually have to go into a new session so it picks up the new skills. So here you can see the old skill. Now, if I wanted to automate this somehow, like right now, I just have a skill and I can basically manually trigger it. But if I have a skill that I want it to run, for example, every morning, it doesn't make sense on this specific skill, but it might make sense on other browser automation skills, then I would basically just go here into routines, and I'll create a new local routine. And inside of the instructions, I'll just say, call the YouTube pinner skill using your tool. That's it. It really doesn't need that much more. Obviously test it once, but that will be usually enough to just run this workflow. Okay, for the second example, let's use the Playwright CLI to run an automation where basically every time I've posted a YouTube video, I want that YouTube video to be posted into my Skool community. So the first thing you want to do is just go and search for Playwright CLI, and then just grab that link just to make sure that it's installing the right one. Go into your Claude Code and just tell it literally to install this, and it will go ahead and do that. I've already done it, so I won't do it again now, but the installation really is pretty straightforward. Okay, so now let's start using it, and I'll say, open up the browser with Playwright CLI. It should be visible for me, and open up the skool.com website. Okay, it's opening up here. There we go. Okay, we can click this away. Okay, so it's on the Skool.com website, and now I can obviously log into it once. I'll do that now. Okay, I have now logged into my Skool profile, and now I can go back here and say, okay, I've logged into my Skool profile. I want you to now close the browser and reopen it. And I want to verify if I am still logged in. So it's closing the browser and it's reopening it, navigating to Skool, and there you go. So we're still logged into the profile. Okay, so let's continue. I want you to now take my latest long form video from YouTube, Prompt Warrior channel, get the link and create a post in my Skool community linking to that video. Okay, so now it found the video and it literally is opening up the tab and starting to write the post and linking my video, selecting the right category here. I'm guessing it will go for general, even though I didn't define that. which is one of the things I can, specify later if we actually turn this into a skill. Okay, so now it's done. It says the draft is ready, want me to click post. So actually very good that it didn't actually post without my permission. So we can go here and check. Okay, it actually selected the announcement drop down here, which is also fine. I didn't specify it again, so it made a right call, or a good call here, I guess. But these are obviously the things that we can then still adjust before we turn it into a skill. And another thing we might want to change is just that the link, for example, that it should be adding it here. So it should click on this button first and then add the link, because this will make it show the thumbnail in the community. Okay, but this was just kind of for testing it, and I will cancel this here. And what I actually want to do, what I want to show as well, is that I want you to do the same workflow and actually post it, but add into the title that this is an AI agent test, but do all that in a headless mode. So I wanted to do it in the background, and basically so that it doesn't take over my screen. So I'll run this now. We won't see anything, but I get to verify later after it's done, and I open up my Skool community whether the post is there or not. Okay, so you can see here it is running. It's like verify, composer, open, fill in the title, but obviously I don't see anything on my screen. So it's just running in a browser that is headless that I don't see. Okay, so it has posted the post here. It says URL confirms it. So let's go in and check it. Go into my Skool. And there we go, AI agent test. It worked. I can go ahead and delete that now. Yep. Okay, but cool, it worked. So now you can see this method is actually an even better method if you want to truly automate something that just happens in the background. Because now I can turn this into a skill, and then I can again create a routine and just tell it to run this skill, but it will now do it in the background. So it doesn't open up my real browser and interrupt my workflow or anything like that. It just does it, and I don't even really have to know about it until it's done. Okay, now for the last example, let's use the Playwright MCP and do one workflow that is actually suitable to do with the MCP. So the first thing you want to do again is to just search for the Playwright MCP, copy the link just to make sure that it's pointing in the right direction, and then just go in here and just say install this, and that should do it. Again, I'm not going to do it because I have already installed this on my machine. Okay, now you want to use the MCP instead of the CLI if you want, for example, to do some kind of research task where it's important to have the visual information and it to be able to do multi-step reasoning across several pages. So one example would be, I want you to use the Playwright MCP to research Justin Welsh's newsletter signup flow and give me the insights and learnings for my own newsletter, for example. So let's hit that off. Okay, so what it's done here in the background, it actually opened up a real browser again, and it's navigating to the site and starting to do its work. Okay, so it finished now, and if we scroll up here, you can see what it actually did. So used a bunch of tools to kind of navigate itself through the homepage. So as I said before, it's this multi-step process where it needs to navigate based on the visual information that it gets from the step before. And that's why the MCP makes sense here. So it's finding the lead magnets here, and then it's looking at the visual elements of, in this case, the header and so on. And based on all of that information that it gathers, it's then giving me this signup flow teardown, and then also gives me what I can apply for my own newsletter. So yeah, this is a good use case of the Playwright MCP. So overall, I most of the time just use Claude and Chrome because, I already have all of my logged in sessions inside of my actual browser. So it's very easy to just trigger the Claude and Chrome tool and have it run there. But then if you want to really automate something and make it very repeatable, it makes a lot of sense to use the Playwright CLI. And if you want to do more research tasks that need the browser, then the MCP might make sense. And that's it for this video. I appreciate you watching to the end, and I hope you got some value from it. As always, it would help me out a ton if you subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I will be adding any resources that you need to set this up also into my free Skool community, which I'm linking below. And if you would like help implementing this system and also the other systems for your business, then feel free to go to my website, joinagentos.com. And if you qualify, then book a call with me directly there. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.